iPhone 6 versus LG G4 2017 coming up right now. So what is up, guys? Nick here from Everything Tech, helping you to master your technology, and welcome to the Apple iPhone 6 versus the LG G4 in the year of 2017. Now, the reason I'm making this comparison is because with older flagships coming down in price point, the G4 and the iPhone 6 might be something you're thinking about getting. You're like, you know, the G4 with that beautiful camera on the back, I just love a great smartphone camera. You know, I might want to pick up a G4, or you might be saying, well, it's my first entry into iOS. The Apple iPhone 6 has come way down in price. It looks just like the modern iPhone 7 pretty much. And I'm thinking about picking that up. I just really can't decide between these two. That's why I'm creating this video. So let's begin with a boot up test on both devices. We're gonna do a quick speed test while we talk about both. 3, 2, and let's go. And you can see Apple logo shows first. Now I do have the AT&T model of the LG G4, so it's not going to, it's going to show that AT&T boot up logo. But you can see right here, I do have the leather back. Now, one thing to note, if you do get a G4, it does rock a bit because of its curved sides on the rear. Also, the iPhone 6 should be booting up faster here just due to the AT&T logo, but let's see what happens here. So yes, like I say, the iPhone 6 does boot up quicker here. So you do get a less than 720p HD display on the iPhone 6. It still has great viewing angles. It's still a pretty solid display, but it's not even close to the Quantum IPS here on the G4. In terms of sharpness and clarity, the G4 is night and day better than this display. It's hard to see on camera, but it's just a much sharper display, and it's just beautiful. Now, that might be a bias. You might think iPhone 6's display is better. iPhone 6 display is better in one area: outdoor visibility and kind of like, you know, overall color balance. But in terms of sharpness, clarity, and just eye-popping visuals, the LG G4's Quantum IPS is a stunner. Now, just be aware that it's not the easiest to read outside, but it's 2K over here, less than 720p. That does drain some battery life, though, as we'll talk about later. So let's go ahead and close everything out. We are running Android Marshmallow 6.0 here on the LG G4, and we're running iOS 10.2.1, the latest official version until 10.3 drops for the iPhone 6. Let's close everything out there, and let's go into calendar on both devices. And you can see the iPhone 6 starts out with a win. Let's come over here, and let's go into calculator on both devices, and you can see the iPhone 6 with a win again. Let's come home here. G4 going back home first every time there. Let's go into camera on both. And you can see iPhone 6 with the win. So wow, iPhone 6 has won pretty much every test here so far in terms of its performance. Let's go into clock, and iPhone 6 again. Let's come home here. This is pretty funny because the iPhone 6 is a 2014 smartphone. The LG G4 is a 2015 smartphone. So this was designed to compete more with the likes of the iPhone 6s, and this was designed to compete more with the likes of the LG G3. So let's go to youtube.com on both here. Let's see if the G4 can catch up now in third party. And does not catch up there in third party. Let's go home here. I'm gonna check to see if I have the same Wi-Fi, because something's a little bit off here. I'm a little bit shocked at what's going on. So yeah, I think I had the wrong Wi-Fi there for that third party application. So in terms of the system apps, the G4 definitely wins there. Let me make sure it's the same on the 6. It is exactly the same here on both now. So we're gonna rerun YouTube just due to the fact that the Wi-Fi was on different Wi-Fis. So let's go over here and let's rerun YouTube here really quickly. And you could see if that makes a difference, and it does not. It didn't make any difference actually, so the G4 is still behind there. Let's go into my videos. G4 is still behind there. Let's come home here. And the G4 goes home first every time because you have a, you know, capacitive touch here versus a physical press. Let's go into Appy Geek. Come on, G4, you gotta win something here. Okay, I'll give G4 Appy Geek. It did win that one. Let's come home here and let's go into Play Store, App Store. So the G4 loses on the Play Store too. What is going on with you, G4? You're disappointing me today. Let's go into settings here. Missed that one on the iPhone 6. Let's go into settings. iPhone 6 wins that one. Let's come home here. Let's go into phone. G4 wins one there on the phone. Let's come home here. Let's go into Twitter. I'm expecting the G4 to win this one. Android's Twitter always opens first in my personal experience, and it does. So beats the iOS experience. Let's go into voice memos and voice recorder. Let me close that one out there. Voice memos and voice recorder. Looks like the G4. So the G4 is catching back up a little bit. Let's go into Instagram here. And the G4 takes that one. So let's come home here. Let's go into Safari and LG's internet browser. Let's go over here and let's go into, let's go to LG.com. Let's just do LG.com since we're talking about an LG device here. Let's hit go. And you can see, LG gonna win this one? Ooh, no. Safari wins this one. So the LG G6 is out now. We know that already. We've been paying attention. Haven't done any videos. Let me know if you want to see some G6 content. Coming home here. It looks like Safari won that one. You know what? That wasn't a full test. Let's go ahead and do another one. Let's just go to apple.com now since we went to LG to make it fair. Let's go to apple.com here now. And let's go. You can see Safari again. So LG's internet browser is not the quickest, but I do find that if you download something like Chrome, Firefox, something like that, you do catch up to the Safari experience. Let's go into eBay on both devices. And you can see the wait, what's going on? Okay, the LG G4 wins that one. So I haven't been keeping score, but it seems like the LG G4 is doing slightly better in third-party apps. Let's go into Amazon. And let's see what happens here. LG G4 wins that one. So let's come home here. So system apps, once again, it's always the same story pretty much. The iPhone's optimized for its system apps. Let's go into LG Health versus Apple Health. And you've seen dead even there on the health application. So let's go into Temple Run on both. And you could see iPhone 6 definitely there, but you know, we already know about the LG G4's gaming performance, not the best in the world. Gets a little hot when playing. Let's go to Jetpack Joyride. And let's see what happens here. Who's gonna win this one? Is the LG gonna take the iPhone on this one? Doesn't look like it. So iPhone 6 beats G4 on both gaming tests there. If you guys want to see an actual gaming performance test, a little bit more in depth between the iPhone 6 and the LG G4, drop that down below. Let's do some multitasking now on both devices. Let's go into Jetpack Joyride. And as expected, a slowdown for the LG G4. Now, LG has seemingly multitasked better than Samsung in my experience in the past. I don't know what's going on there. Little flippy action. Let's get a little flippy action going. Hashtag flippy action. Let's go down here. Let's go into calendar. Okay, LG still can't hold the multitasking. Let's go over here. Let's go into camera. If you guys watched my S7 video, you've seen the iPhone 6 beat the Samsung Galaxy S7 in multitasking. I mean, that was just, no, I just didn't like that. But I mean, I can understand here with the G4. You know, it's an older device, but iPhone 6 wins there on Instagram. So multitasking still a champ here for iPhone 6. I mean, it's not like these little things are gonna like change your day-to-day life. I mean, they're very minor. I mean, but they do add a little bit more of a pleasurable experience when you're using both devices. I mean, just to have that consistency makes it feel like a more smooth, buttery smooth phone day to day. So overall, I would say based on this test, the iPhone 6 has slightly better performance. The G4, in terms of its, you know, third-party apps, does open quicker. There's something about the G4, it just kind of feels quicker, like just swiping through. I mean, look at that, it just looks quicker to the eye. But in terms of consistency and reliability, the iPhone 6 might give you a slightly better feel. There's a study that was found that Android's applications don't crash as much as iOS, and I found that to be true. Your apps might crash a little bit more on the iPhone 6 from time to time than you will find on the G4. They might be slightly slower on the G4, but they're not going to crash as much on the G4. The G4 still offers reliable, consistent performance. I mean, guys, we don't need to just, you know, look at a phone for performance. Now, let's look at something else you might be getting if you're deciding to pick up these two. The camera on the G4 takes the iPhone 6 to school. If you're looking for a good camera, this is DSLR like on the G4. Not a DSLR, it doesn't have a big lens, but if you know what you're doing and you snap a DSLR picture and you compare it to a G4 picture, a lot of people aren't going to be able to tell the difference between the G4 and the DSLR. So the camera, beats the pants off of the iPhone 6 every day of the week with the G4. Now, the front camera is one of the best I've ever seen on a smartphone in the G4. It's an 8 megapixel, it looks super sharp and clear, and it's actually better than the one on the Galaxy S7, S7 Edge, I think, on the G4. 8 megapixels, 5 megapixels on those newer devices. The LG G4's front camera is even better than the iPhone 7 Pluses, and I use the 7 Plus, and that's just my experience. But anyway, if you're deciding to pick one of these up, you really got to ask yourself, do I want iOS or do I want Android? Now, I know a lot of people are going to be saying, oh, that boot loop issue with the LG G4, I wouldn't touch that thing. Oh my God, boot loop issue. If you buy a G4, you have a boot loop issue, you send it to LG, 5 days later, 3 days later, they send it back, totally fixed, no issues ever again. It's that simple. So, you know, to trash a company just because they have a little hiccup here and there is, you know, it's ridiculous. The iPhone 6 has touch disease. I'm waiting for it to get touch disease on this device, and it does bend, I've seen iPhone 6s bent. They bend pretty easily if you sit on them. If you're careful with them, they won't bend, but they will bend. So, but that doesn't stop millions from buying an iPhone 6, does it? But we all want to trash LG because they have a little bit of a boot loop issue. You can go ahead and send it to LG, they'll fix that, just like as Apple would fix the, you know, anything at the Genius Bar. Not saying I'm in favor of LG, I'm just saying, like, guys, just find the solutions to your problems and everything would be much better. Anyway, this was Nick here helping to master your technology. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel for more technology videos like this. I will catch you all in the next one. Be sure to be well and peace.